Her expertise includes project estimation, scheduling, and budgeting, and she has worked with notable clients such as Apple, Coca-Cola, WellPoint, and MetLife. She holds a master's in engineering in computer science from Punjab Engineering College, Chandigarh. Her career in IT began with Infosys, where she developed her skills across global locations, including Shanghai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Honeywell, managing client relationships and term for manager clients like Gap and Startup. In 2013, she transitioned to the Indian Defence Account Service (IDAS), applying her IT skills in various roles at the Office of Principal Controller of Border Roads, Delhi. She spearheaded the introduction of direct benefit transfers and the implementation of the government e-marketplace in remote areas. As the head of the Office of Joint Controller of Defence Accountants, Air Force, she oversaw the digitization of pension records and the deployment of the AS&HSocialMedia system to enhance pension administration for the Indian Air Force. Currently, as a Deputy Secretary at the Department of the Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade in the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. She plays a pivotal role in the PM Gati Shakti program, managing infrastructure project reviews and ensuring effective coordination between union ministries and state governments. She additionally holds the position of Director Technical at Yeshobhumi, a state-of-the-art convention and exhibition center in Delhi, renowned as a premier venue for hosting prestigious national and international events of exceptional scale and importance. Everybody is waiting for your golden words, ma'am. Please do come.
वॉल्यूम देख लो यार एक बार.
After 2006, this is my first visit to any campus. 2006, I was myself a student in Chandigarh. So when I entered the campus today, I could see all the youngsters there. So coming to, a campus where I can see all the young faces, it automatically gives you the energy and the hope. So how many of you have come here willingly and how many have come because the attendance is mandatory? Don't worry, I'll make sure your stay here was worth it. So before I move to PM Gati Shakti, I would like to show you a small video to showcase what we have done in the past few years.
पिक्स ले लीजिएगा मेरा कैमरा से. देखो एक बार चल रहा है.
Probably played at end of the session. So how many of you have idea about PM Gati Shakti? Ever heard about it? Come on, every speech of PM, our Honorable Prime Minister, always mention PM Gati Shakti. This is a pet program of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, which ensures whole of the government approach. Okay, how many of you have faced when you have seen in your village, city or your lane there is a brand new lane is laid up by the concerned road agency. But after a week or so, the same road is done, only the telephone department wants to lay down the cables. How many have faced that? Right? Why this happened? Because there was no coordination between the telephone department and the road agency. So imagine a world where before you start digging the roads, or before you start laying the roads, you all sit together, you discuss, okay, I'm planning to have a road here. So anybody else, any other department has any requirement? So won't there will be, so much saving of the resources, times, and all the delays can be controlled, right? This was the idea behind this approach that our Honorable Prime Minister had in his mind. I'm going to have a quiz after the end of the session, so please do pay attention. Okay, so we started on 13th October
October 2021. This is when our Prime Minister launched this initiative. It is an initiative to ensure the planning is done in the most appropriate way. So I'll just read out the vision that our Prime Minister had. PM Gati Shakti is a transformative approach for the integrated planning of multimodal infrastructure, last mile connectivity, reducing logistic costs, and ensuring the seamless movement of people and goods. When we say integrated, as I told you, nobody is working in isolation now. Ministry of Roads cannot work in isolation without discussing the project with railways, with civil aviation, with petroleum, natural gases, or any other infra ministries. And we say multimodal when there is more than one mode of transportation. Like you get down at a place through air, then right at that point you have a train or metro, and then you get down at the metro station, you have some other mode of transportation. That is called multimodal, when more than one mode of transportation is involved. Last mile connectivity. Most of you must have seen, you go to a city, you get down at the station, and then you see from the station to a nearby town or some other place, there is no connectivity. That means nobody bothered about giving the last mile connectivity to that particular place. That is called last mile connectivity, when you are trying to connect the major places but you are ignoring the last mile connectivity. And of course, because we are in a democracy, our most important agenda is to make sure people and goods have seamless movement. There is no stoppage in between. So why PM Gati Shakti? What was happening before that? I'll just give you an example. We have seen in past 3 years many examples when road has planned a road from point A to point B without knowing what is the plan of railway. Maybe railway had a plan as well to lay a track there. This way, when you are not discussing with your concerned infra ministries, you are creating redundant infrastructure. Maybe the need is only for just a road because the total traffic is 100 people and you are also laying a track. So you are wasting the resources, and all these resources are linked to the tax money that we receive from all of us. So before PM Gati Shakti, rail was keep on planning their tracks, road was planning their own tracks. They had no idea what clearances they would need. Forest area, you would need some kind of clearance from Environment Ministry. Nobody had any idea. Like where are they intersecting what assets of what ministry? So that used to be delayed. I'll give you an example. There is one railway project. You people can do the research. It was delayed for 50 years because they did not get the clearance on time. It is still halted. It is not going further because they had no idea what clearance to receive by which agency. So we have wasted the resources. We created from point to B, but B to C we could not go ahead because we did not have the clearance. So this thing was taken very seriously by government, and they said now let's go whole of the government approach. Let's not stick to one ministry. Let's not work in isolation. Let's sit together. Let's discuss the issues. Let's discuss let's see the usage of this particular infra project. Do we need this project or not? If we need, what is the best efficient way to do it? That is why we had whole of the government approach. I'll show you how we ensured that. Next, if anybody has any idea about government setup, it is very difficult to get data from one department to another department. We are careful when we come to sharing. Imagine you have 4 ministries and 36 states and UTs data on one portal. Getting the data itself is a big achievement for us. Nobody is ready to share the data that openly. But because of this initiative, PM Gati Shakti, we have data related to schools, related to forest, related to colleges, universities, related to what all national highways we have, what all petroleum pipelines we have, gas pipelines we have. All this data at one platform. Can you imagine? You people are in that generation where you are very tech savvy. Imagine all the data on one platform. You don't have to go and talk to the state, give me the data. You can see the data. You don't have to go to the civil aviation. Where is your upcoming airport? On one portal. It is a huge achievement in government sector. So when you have data, if you know data brings in transparency. Data helps you to make right decision, efficient decision, informed decision. So this is one of the achievements we have. as I told you, because earlier we had no idea. As I gave you the example of the railway track that we planned, but for 50 years it was halted because they had no idea whom to approach, where to get the clearance. So these all things are delaying the project infrastructure in the country, and the planning slows down as well. How did we ensure this is not happening? We made sure all the representative of the infra ministry sit together, that is taken care of by our department, whenever there is a project of more than 500 crores. They all sit together, they all bring in their queries, they discuss the project and they give the pros and cons and they tell them what all clearances you should take before you go ahead for the project. As software engineers, you know, they say the maximum time you should spend is on requirement phase. Yes or no? The more time you spend on requirement phase, lesser you will spend in the coding phase, because your requirements are frozen, you know what to be done. But if your requirements are not clear and you are changing them during the coding part, so you are not doing the optimal way of coding. So similarly, we are making sure everything is, the checklist is checked at the planning stage, and we are not waiting for any stoppage during the execution phase. As I told you, there are times when, even when we are having the meeting with all the infra ministries, suppose road has come for a project from A to B, even road has no idea there is a gas pipeline through that route. So we have a rep from Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. That person will come up and say, you have missed up this line, so you will need a clearance. And if they need this clearance for the later stage, during the execution, you know how difficult it is and how much time consuming it is. So if you have all the clearances and all the authentic clearances that you know you have to have when you are going ahead with the project, you are saving the cost and time. So as I told you, in 2021, 13th October 2021, please memorize it. I'm going to ask you at the end of the session. We started with 8 infra ministries because we saw many gaps in infra planning. So we started with 8 infra ministries. But when we moved to 2023, we realized why only infra? Why not social? We are in a democratic world where there might be a road from point A to B, but there is a school at point C and there is no connectivity to the point C. And moreover, suppose there is one school which is covering 3 blocks in an area, but for the next 5 blocks there is no school. Why can't the social ministry plan the schools in a better way using this portal? They can find the gaps, like whether there are schools in within 5 kilometers of radius or not. If not, they have to plan a school there. I'll give you an example of Pahunch Tool. How many of you know about Pahunch Tool? It was of UP government. I'm going to show you later on. So we ensure, we have all the school data. We got in touch with the various ministry, education ministry. We got in touch with the states. We have Anganwadi data. We know which area is not covered by a particular Anganwadi. So when the concerned ministry or department is planning to have a new Anganwadi, they are not just redundantly putting any Anganwadi anywhere. They are making sure they are putting at the optimum position the Anganwadi so that most of the population around it is taken care of. So again, when we reached in 2024 January, we said let's move further ahead. Why to stop at social? Why not economic? We have coal, we have steel, but are the steel plants or the coal plants connected? We have seen the requirements from port when they have said, you have connected to the godown of railway station, maybe at point A. But from point A to point B, where we have a port, there is no connectivity. Even if all the load is coming properly to the point A, but from moving from point to B, it is taking forever to us, and it is again, whenever there is a delay, there is a cost. So we thought let's map all the industrial corridors on it, so that even the railway, road, where is the last mile connectivity issue, where the plants are, where the coal beds are not connected. So all those exercises have been going on this portal. I'll show you the portal album if the internet will allow us here. So as I told you, we believe in whole of the government approach. PM Gati Shakti is the synonym for whole of the government approach. So we ensure the whole of government approach using 2 things. Number 1, institutional as I told you, we are taking care of this at Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. We have three groups at our department. The number one is technical support unit. We have hired people from the market with more than 15 years of experience. We have people who are transport planners. We have people who are expert in civil aviation. We have ICT expert. We have GIS expert. All these people are in our department who will evaluate the projects submitted by various ministries and departments which are above 500 crores or which are of critical nature. That means it might not be of 500 crores, but it is very critical and we need it. So those projects are submitted to us, to the technical support unit. They evaluate it based on various criteria. And then we have network plan group. This group has 8 members from 8 planning divisions of 8 infra. Like we have a member from railway, we have a member from, when I say planning division head, it's a very senior officer, joint secretary level officer at least. And what we do when we get a project, any project from any ministry, say road has shared a project like we want a Pune-Bangalore expressway project, it is of critical nature, it is above 500 crore, we want NPG to evaluate it. They will submit the project to TSU. TSU will further share the project with network planning group and they will discuss the project. And this network planning